Hello, I'm Bob Fashano, the host of Keiser University's Leadership Podcast. Today is the first of a monthly podcast where we are going to be introducing community leaders to come in and share with us their leadership insights into how they are applying them in their day-to-day. And we are most fortunate today to have as our first guest, Dr. Robert Keiser. Dr. Keiser, welcome.
It's a pleasure. Thank you for having me.
Dr. Keiser is the Vice Chancellor of Keiser University, and we are so fortunate to have him here at our inaugural podcast. And so, Dr. Keiser, before we get started, I think it's important that our audience know a little bit more about who Robert Keiser is, a little bit about your background. I've been around your family. You have a beautiful family. Can you just talk a little bit about your family to us, please?
Sure, absolutely, and thank you for the compliment. And my family is my most important but most beautiful part of my life. I'm very lucky. My wife, Andrea, and I have been married for 8 years now. We have been dating. She has been my bride-to-be for over 13 years. I have 3 beautiful daughters. It is the most exhausting part of my life, but also the most rewarding. I have a 6-year-old who just graduated from kindergarten, so that was super precious, and she walked across stage and got a gown and everything. And then I had a buy one, get one. It is not a sale, but it is very rewarding again. I have twins, and they're 3 years old, all girls. And then I'm also a happy dog dad. I have 4 dogs and a parrot, an African gray Congo. And then I have the fortunate blessing of working with family with Dr. Arthur Keiser, our Chancellor, and Mrs. Belinda Keiser, our Vice Chancellor of Community Relations.
Well, thank you, Robert. That's really good insight into your family. Now, in addition to your family, which obviously is our priority, help us understand a little bit more about some of your interests, your hobbies. What do you do in your free time?
Sure. It's a great question. I'm always trying to figure out how to get free time.
Yes, I would imagine.
Especially with work and being a father. But when I do have leisurely time, I love to golf, although I can't say I'm a good golfer. So many of you in the audience probably can relate to that. I love watching sports. I'm an avid sports watcher. Unfortunately or fortunately, I'm a South Florida sports fan. So that brings pain and misery, sometimes happiness. The Panthers in the Stanley Cup right now as we're filming this. But also, I'm a video game enthusiast. So I do play video games, first-person shooters, role-playing games. Actually, my wife and I play a game. I don't know if it's good for marital bliss, but we play a game called Overcooked, where you actually are a cooperative gamer in a kitchen and you make recipes together. So there's a lot of collaboration, so teamwork, a leadership attribute, but also getting over conflict, which is also, I think, a leadership attribute. So those are my hobbies.
So tell us a little bit about your leadership journey up till now, where you're serving as Vice Chancellor of Keiser, head of the graduate school. Tell us a little bit about that journey up to this point.
Sure. I have to first say, any leadership journey is done as a community. If it wasn't for the Chancellor, my father, and him raising me the way he did, I would not have some of the attributes and some of the opportunities I had today. Also, the lessons I've learned from my mother, just being an excellent mother. And then all the friends and the mentors. When I say that Keiser University is a family, that's not hyperbole. I have literally known people who have worked here longer than I've been alive. And they, for example, Reverend Morley, who works for the institution, she held me as a baby in her arms when I went to the institution when I was just 4 months old. So my leadership journey is one where I worked since I was 7 years old. It was very important to my father that I had a job. My first job, which, for the audience, truth be told, I would say it was an internship. I was a gum scraper. I went to the library at the university. My father equipped me with a paint scraper. I went underneath the desk and I scraped the gum underneath the desk because it was really important to my father that our institution, our students, pay money to be here, and it should be a strong value proposition. But a clean campus is a campus that's well attended and well looked after. And so I learned that lesson very early on. I did bookstore inventory. And then outside of summer jobs, and it was very important for me to have summer jobs to my father, and I had a role. If I didn't have a job within 2 months, my father was going to find me a job. And I remember that I thought that he was joking. He had a friend who was a roofer, and he contacted me one day. He said, your father said that you're slacking in finding a summer job. And this is, again, since I was 7. And I said, no, I don't know. I'm putting applications in. Don't worry about it. He's like, no, we're worried about it, and you can be a kettleman for me. And for those of you in the audience who do not know what a kettleman is, it's the person who stirs the tar for the pitch of the roof. That is a hot job. It's hard labor. So needless to say, I found a job, not doing a kettleman job. But I've worked in finance for UBS. I worked for Skanska's construction management. I worked in government for a congresswoman out of Miami named Ileana Ros-Lehdon. So my leadership journey is working all kinds of jobs, getting a varied experience, and meeting incredible people who have been mentors along the way.
And certainly you have, to put it in simple terms, you've paid your dues. You've went through a lot. Your journey has really been something that's meaningful. And I think that's important for the audience, especially younger folks that are in the audience right now. You need to do your reps. I guess that's the term that's used today. You need to have the reps. And Dr. Keiser, you've demonstrated that, so appreciate that. In your current role now as Vice Chancellor, can you describe your most important, what you're mostly responsible for?
Sure.
Right now.
It's a great question because the title can be somewhat misleading. So my title is the Vice Chancellor of the Graduate School, but my purview is graduate programs, so I think that makes sense, but also the international programs and the international expansion for the university.
All right. And as we know, Keiser has an immense international population. So that's a pretty significant role that you have there and responsibilities. All industries today have many challenges. So Dr. Keiser, what are some of the most common challenges that you and your team are currently experiencing, and how are you overcoming those?
From an industry perspective,
Yes.
I would say cost of attendance is a challenge. Unfortunately, in this country, tuition has raised at a rate where wages have not kept up. So gap financing is a challenge for students, and trying to make the college dream accessible to students is something that we work very hard at Keiser University to do. Additionally, overcoming some of the narrative associated with university right now. There is a narrative that there is not a return on investment for higher education. I couldn't disagree with that more, but that is something that is in the mind of the student.
Mm-hmm.
Should I even go to college? So we try to overcome that. And additionally, any situation that might arise in the student's personal life. Our students are adult learners. They're not individuals like I was blessed in that my parents financed my education. My parents paid for me to go to university at George Washington University for my undergrad and my master's. I paid for my doctorate, but I didn't have to worry too much about whether I was going to pay my tuition bill and if I had to work a full-time job. I did work, but not full-time during college, and our students don't have that luxury. They have kids, they have jobs, and so they have a full life coming to us, and perhaps they have not been successful in a different academic journey. Mm-hmm. So making sure that they have the confidence that they can succeed, and I really do believe the students have the aptitude to succeed. They may never have been in the right environment to succeed, so helping instill them with that confidence and providing the support services they need is really important for us at the institution.
That brings another question to mind, though. You know, in all industries today, in all businesses today, technology and the trends today have really taken place, good and bad, whether it be AI or something else.
Sure.
How have some of technology trends and so on impacted your day-to-day?
Absolutely. It's a great question, and technology has a disruptive tendency. And it's good and bad. Nothing in its by nature is either good or bad. It's always multifaceted. So technology has transformed how we communicate with students. A lot more texting today. Used to be phone calling, but they want to communicate with us via text messaging. How they inquire about the school, a lot of digital advertising, going to the website, filling out a request for information form, how we operate as an institution internally. Obviously, we're run on a variety of systems. They all have to be integrated and share data across systems. And then when we look at pedagogy or teaching and learning, classroom experiences are being transformed. There's virtual reality in the classroom. We have animatage tables. Sometimes I mispronounce that. I hope I got that one right. But basically what it does, it takes the human body and it splices the body so you can do a full human anatomy and physiology review, and you can layer it almost like GIS.
And obviously, Keiser has embraced the technology and turned it into a way of life to help develop the students, the student relationship with the university, and so on. So that's really great. It's great to hear that. I'd like to switch gears, Dr. Keiser.
Sure.
I want to get into, our podcast is on leadership. Now I really want to drill down on leadership. When we think of leadership, the first thing that comes to my mind is the importance of building a team. And obviously you have built a team. What is most important to you on building a team, and what are some of the key characteristics that you seek for when finding a team member? Two-part question.
Sure. And Bob, I just want to say, I know you know the importance of building a team, being a leader yourself, and it's been some of our side conversations. But it is of my belief, and this is the strongest belief I have, that you're only as good as your team. Any leader is propped up or brought down by their team. So seminal to my role, whether it's with the graduate school or international, is finding the best and the brightest. So talking about the attributes I look for in a team. Obviously, number one is integrity. And I think that rises above all. I know it's cliche, but it really is important, because you cannot see what your people do every single day. And the definition of integrity is doing the right thing when no one's watching. And so that's so important when finding that team. I want to make sure I have the right humans, especially in education, because to be in this industry, you have to have a heart for it. You have to have a heart for the students. You have to have a heart for collaborating and collegiality. So integrity is paramount. Number two is obviously the competency. You have to have the skills. You have to have the ability to complete the job. I honestly think that's the easiest part. When I'm going through resumes, especially at the graduate level and with the university, I'm going through resumes of PhDs, incredible people who have incredible practitioner experience, but they have to be able to do the job. And then the third thing is, what is their addition to the culture? Are they bringing competencies and attributes that it's going to be additive, or is it going to be toxic? And I do believe one bad apple ruins the entire bushel. So therefore, you need to make sure that the individual you're bringing in is going to be able to interact with all your stakeholders in a positive way, that they're going to be able to not only work in their own vertical, but across verticals. And I think that's really important when looking for a team.
In leadership, we have a responsibility to develop a relationship with those people that we lead. And I've learned over the years that trust is the currency of a relationship. So, Dr. Keiser, let me ask you, how do you build or gain trust and maintain it in your relationships with your team?
It's interesting. I'm not sure I've really thought that out before, but I guess my answer to that would be, you have to connect on a human level, number one. I truly believe, and this is true, everyone that I work with on my team, I think they're excellent humans beyond everything else. But I do believe that they know that I am there for them beyond work. And not everyone believes in that. Some people believe it muddies the water. And I'm not saying to be best friends. I'm not saying hit the bar and get drinks with all of them. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about, if my golden rule, and this is just a manifestation of that, is that family comes first, however you define it. And I get angry at my people if they put work before family. If they have their daughter's kindergarten play that they want to go to, I say, go. Get out of here, get to that play. If they have to take care of their mother because she's sick and she's elderly, you better take care of your mother. And my belief on that is, one, that's how I would want to be managed. I wouldn't tolerate anything else. My family comes first, and I will always put them first. So if I have a boss that puts me in a compromising situation where I'm picking work over family, I can't have it. The next thing is that I believe that they pay you in kind. And this is the trust aspect. If I let my team member go to the daughter's play, because other bosses wouldn't, frankly, and I just don't understand it. They, I believe, work harder for me and with me. And I really like the concept of with, not for, because they know that I'm providing them an environment that's conducive to all their goals, not just their professional goals. So I think above all else is being a good person and treating people how they should be treated. And having that relationship on a human level. Of course, as a manager, there still needs to be that separation, and there needs to be a healthy respect for the position. But when those difficult conversations come, they're easier to have because you have that relationship.
I want to move to a different area now. You, I know, being in education, higher education and so on, are all about learning and about growing. What are you, Dr. Keiser, currently doing to grow in your leadership skills and your leadership knowledge so that you can be more of an effective leader? What are you currently doing?
Sure. It's a great question, and I do believe continuous growth and continuous learning is a key to human advancement, let alone professional advancement. So since I say that, I guess I have to share. I read leadership books. I'm in the middle of a book. Actually, our institution is doing a human resource development program, and it's a book written by a Navy SEAL on leadership. So I'm currently in a book. Additionally, I go to all the conferences that I can. I have cut back a little bit on travel because my kids are younger, and I want to make sure that I'm there for them for 0 to 6, because that's absolutely foundational and important. But I do go to conferences regularly, higher education conferences, listen to webinars. That's one of the positives of technology. Information is so accessible. I listen to, this is kind of weird, but I listen to congressional briefings all the time. The reason is that honestly is a precursor to what we might see in the future in terms of legislation, and stay involved in the political process. And the other thing that I'm currently doing, and I'm actually filling out the application now, I am enrolling in a continuing education cert for fundraising. I believe that's going to be a part of my future with the institution, is trying to raise endowment for this institution so that our incredible faculty and staff can continue to support our amazing students and do it in different avenues. So continuing education, and then just reading and immersing myself in the industry, I think, is my answer.
We have busy lives as leaders. You've got a lot of things coming at you, a lot of changes, as we've talked about before. It's very easy to get exhausted. It's very easy to get tired, and we're not talking about your family time. How do you stay motivated? How do you stay inspired?
Well, the easy answer is caffeine, but it's true.
That
It
helps.
does help, yeah. But all joking aside, I think it's intrinsic. The reality is I love what I do, and this is a passion. But I was very reluctant to join the university. There are pros and cons to nepotism, and one of the cons is this, experience that I had growing up when I was 10 years old, and I had a gentleman, come in a suit from Washington, D.C., and he was, one of our lobbyists, and he said, Robert, when you're my boss, what are you going to do? And that was a joke. It was very cute. And the answer was double lobbying fees. And it was adorable. But as a 10-year-old, it made an impression on me, because what he was saying is, you're going to give me a raise, and maybe one day you'll be my boss. And that was overwhelming to me at the time, that as a 10-year-old, that I might be this guy's boss, a man in a suit coming from Washington, D.C. So I was very reluctant to join the university. It wasn't until I experienced graduation at GW and realized how that was just a rite of passage for me, because I think there's a dichotomy in this country with college goers. For me, it was about where I was going to go. For most Americans, it's about if you're going to go. And I didn't realize how spoiled I was and how blessed I was. And then I sat on the stage at graduation, because for me, truth be told, and this is just being raw and authentic, I was just fighting a hangover when I was going through my graduation at GW. But when I sat on the stage, seeing our students process across the stage, and I've been to multiple graduations before that, but after my own graduation, and I saw the students hugging the faculty and crying, and hugging their family members and crying because they're first in family, I just realized what we did at Keiser University was so different. This demographic of students is if they're going to go to school. And when they achieve it, it is a mile marker in their life. It changes their family tree for the better. And so I stay motivated because I feel compelled. I feel I have a responsibility to help as many students that I can help. So it's really easy when you love what you do.
Winding down here as we wrap it up, I have a couple of lasting questions for you. First of all, work-life balance today is very, very important. Obviously, you have a family, you have those responsibilities, and you certainly have responsibilities here at the university. Help our audience understand, if you would, how you balance your professional and your personal commitments?
It's a good question. It's something I struggle with daily. And I think most of us in this modern society struggle with this. I think the answer is work-life balance means different things to different people. Percentages vary significantly. Some people think that 70% family, 30% work is work-life balance. Some people inverse it. What I would say is, one, you got to know who you are and what matters to you the most. And so the way I deal work-life balance is knowing what my priorities are and ranking them and then allocating time accordingly. So family first, work second, social life third. So my work-life balance is family at a higher percentage, let's say 60%, and then work 40%, and I really don't have much of a social life right now, at least at the time period that I am in my life. So does your golf game suffer? Oh man, if you saw me play golf, you would see suffering. It would be bad for me and bad for you, the audience watching me. But at the end of the day, does that matter? No. What matters to me is that my daughters have a father who they know loves them unconditionally. A wife knows that her husband loves her unconditionally and supportive and there for her. And then my team knows I'm there for them and the students. And that's what matters to me right now, and that's how I balance. But I think it shifts during your life, and maybe I'll get that 10% of social life back.
You might be able to get your golf game back at some point in time. But my last question is, if I were an 18-year-old thinking of going to university, whether it be this one or something else, and I had an opportunity to sit across the table from Dr. Robert Keiser, what advice would you give me?
One is have a holistic life experience. One of the things that I find is troubling about going to college at 18, and I would be an advocate for individuals who go to college later in life, like 19, 20 years old, is that you don't really know all the occupations that exist in the world. That was amazing to me, that when you get an industry, you realize that there are verticals within verticals. So what I would say is have a full life, work at different places, meet different people, meet people from different backgrounds, and have all kinds of experiences, and don't be so pragmatic. Now that might sound crazy coming from the university that I am from, because since '77 we are focused on career upskilling, and our programs lead to careers. But I think enjoying the journey. You don't know where life takes you, and some of the best outcomes are unplanned. I never thought I was going to work in the construction industry, and then one day my mother came to me and said, I think I could get you this job working in business development for Skanska. And the gentleman I met, Jose Cortez, my boss, was so instrumental in my growth and taught me so much about working in a Fortune 500 company, how to conduct yourself in a professional environment. But if I never worked in an industry that I never saw myself working in, I wouldn't have that experience. So I think, just to wrap it up, is embrace life for the journey that it takes you on. No experience is bad. You either win or you learn, and you take everything in stride. And you have the rest of your life to figure out what you want to commit your life to. And then once you figure that out, when you figure out what your passion is in life, and mine is higher education, obviously, you commit yourself fully to it. And I think that'd be the advice I give.
That's so good. That sounds like a shorter version of a high school graduation commencement address.
Oh, okay.
Great advice.
Maybe I've done that before.
Great. I bet you have. Great advice. Robert, this has been very, very helpful for me. I learned a lot today. And our intention is, we hope our audience has learned more about you and how you've unpacked and how you've applied these critical leadership competencies. So on behalf of the Keiser University, we want to thank you very much for your time today and the investment that you made. We appreciate it very much.
Thank you. It was an honor.
Thank you very much. We look forward to our next podcast, and look forward to seeing you soon. All the best for now.